Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Thursday, June 8, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link to our Patreon in the description and comments section below. Detroit Tigers vs Philadelphia Phillies. After losing on Monday, Detroit had dropped 4 in a row outside of Comerica Park. It brought them to 12-19 in away games this season. As with their entire season, a lack of offensive production should shoulder the blame for their woes. During the 4-game skid, the Tigers only put up 6 total runs. For the season, they are 28th in runs per game. There isn't a club with a lower slugging percentage, and only 3 teams have a lower OBP. The Motor City's team is awful at driving in runs this year. These offenses aren't comparable at all, as the Phillies, who have underperformed, are miles ahead of the Tigers at the plate. Detroit's rookie pitcher, Reese Olson, had a great MLB debut, but pitching against this lineup will be more daunting than facing the White Sox. Zach Wheeler was brutal in his last outing, but is better at home and facing one of baseball's worst batting orders. Philadelphia shouldn't face many issues winning this game. Our team pick is Philadelphia Phillies minus 1.5 runs. While the Tigers are slumping, the Phillies series opening win was their 3rd consecutive victory. After losing 5 straight in the division, they desperately needed all 3 of those games. Philadelphia's offense put up 32 runs through their first 5 June games, and new addition Trey Turner appears to be heating up. He went through those 5 games with a 1.030 ops after a slow start to the year. The team is only 20th in runs per game, but with a healthy Bryce Harper and a hot Trey Turner, their production could jump up very quickly. Our total pick is under 8 runs. Houston Astros vs Toronto Blue Jays. Houston is in the top 7 in 4 major pitching categories. Houston is 7th in batting average allowed at .238, 5th in quality starts with 29 and 4th in whip at 1.22. Houston has the best team ERA in all of baseball at 3.25. Framber Valdez is the leader in strikeouts for Houston with 84, while Christian Javier is the leader in victories with 7. Valdez gets the nod on the mound Thursday for the Astros. This season the left-hander is 6'4" with an ERA of 2.16 and a previously mentioned team best 84 strikeouts. Houston has won 19 of its last 26 overall, and the Astros play well on the road, having won 36 of the last 51 away from home, including a road record this season of 18-11. Toronto has struggled of late at home, losing 6 of the last 8, and the Blue Jays have had problems with teams from the American League West, losing 15 of the last 22. Houston starting pitcher Framber Valdez has had 3 consecutive strong outings, allowing just 13 hits and 1 run across 22 innings, with Houston winning each of the 3. Houston has won each of Valdez's last 5 starts. Toronto starter Jose Barrios has also pitched well over the last 3 starts, but has suffered at times from control issues, with 10 walks in the last 3 starts, including 5 in 1 game. Houston has a bullpen ERA of just 3.32, which is 4th best in baseball, and if Valdez leaves with a lead, Toronto will have a problem facing Houston's relievers. Our team pick is Houston Astros. Toronto is in the top 9 of 4 major hitting categories. Toronto is 3rd in team batting average at .265, 4th in on-base percentage with .333 and 8th in slugging percentage at .426, which have produced 289 runs that is 9th best in all of baseball. Bo Bichette has been the undisputed king of stats for Toronto through 62 games, with team bests in home runs with 13, RBI with 41, hits with 88, and batting average at .322. Dalton Varsho is 2nd in home runs with 11, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is 2nd in RBI with 38. Toronto has hit 113 doubles, 7 triples and 73 home runs in 62 games. Our total pick is over. Boston Red Sox vs Cleveland Guardians. The Boston Red Sox are once again even at 31-31 heading into the 3rd game of this series. The Sox opened the series with a come-from-behind 5-4 victory on Tuesday night before falling 5-2 on Tuesday night. The Red Sox had to scrape together pitchers on Wednesday night, with Cutter Crawford going 3 innings and rookie call-up Chris Murphy giving the Sox 3.1 shutout innings to keep the game close late. Boston led briefly 2-1 before a series of errors defensively cost them the lead. After scoring 5 runs in Game 1, the Red Sox offense returned to its recent struggles in Game 2, with just 2 runs and 6 hits in the loss. Boston has averaged under 3.5 runs per game now in its last 12 games. Thanks to Chris Sale's injury, the Red Sox have now had to piece together a rotation in recent days and will ask Kluber to return to the starting rotation on Thursday night. Kluber has an ERA over 6 this season and coughed up 11 home runs while struggling with his command in 9 starts this season. He will be tasked to slow down a Guardians lineup that had 10 hits on Wednesday night and seems to be finding its stride in recent games. Civale pitched very well in his return from the Illinois and has a stronger bullpen behind him than Kluber does to take care of the late innings. Take the Guardians with the money line. The Cleveland Guardians look to have Game 1 of this series in hand with ace Shane Bieber on the mound and a 2-0 lead early on. Instead, they allowed the Red Sox to rebound with 5 runs over the final 3 innings and fell short in a 5-4 loss. On Wednesday night, the Guardians bounced back with a 5-2 win thanks to a 10-hit attack and 4 scoreless innings from their bullpen. Cleveland now heads into Thursday night's matchup with a chance to win the series. Our total pick is under 7.5 runs. New York Mets vs Atlanta Braves. The New York Mets fell to 30-31 on the season following Tuesday's loss at Truist Park, extending their losing streak to 4 games. The Mets were swept by the Toronto Blue Jays in a 3-game set in New York last week, 3-0, 2-1, and 6-4. New York's offense has been terrible lately, tallying just 19 runs over its previous 7 outings. Justin Verlander meets Atlanta for the first time this season. The current Braves are just 14 for 64 with a couple of doubles and home runs against Verlander. On the other side, the current Mets are 19 for 69 with 4 doubles and a pair of triples and homers against Spencer Strider, who'll meet New York for the second time in 2023. Back on the first day of May, Strider emerged victorious in a 9-8 win at Citi Field, allowing 4 earned runs on 5 hits and 3 walks across 5 innings of work. I've mentioned the Mets' poor run of form at the plate. They've posted a 69 WRC+ against the right-handed pitchers in the last 10 days, whereas the Braves have registered a 133 WRC+ versus the righties in that span. Still, the Braves will have a tall task to hit well against Justin Verlander. I'm expecting to see a tight, low-scoring battle, so I'll take the Mets to beat the run line. The Atlanta Braves extended their winning streak to 3 games following Tuesday's victory over the Mets, moving to 36-24 on the season. The Braves finished the previous week with a couple of wins at Chase Field in Phoenix to clinch a 3-game set over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Our total pick is under 8.5 runs. Chicago Cubs vs Los Angeles Angels. Chicago let one slip away on Tuesday night as they blew a 4-run lead in the opening game of the series and look to rebound here. The Cubs entered Wednesday 26-34 on the season and stood 4th in the NL Central, 6.5 games behind the Brewers for the top spot in the division. On Tuesday night, Chicago got 2 hits from Nico Horner, while Mike Tauchman and Matt Mervis each drove in a pair of runs. That wasn't enough as shoddy defense and poor relief work helped the Cubs blow a 4-0 lead en route to the defeat. Hayden Wesneski didn't factor in the decision as he allowed 4 runs, 2 earned, on 2 hits with 1 walk and 4 strikeouts over 4.2 innings of work. Brandon Hughes, 0-3, took the loss in relief as he allowed 2 runs on 2 hits with 2 walks and no strikeouts, while failing to retire a hitter. Both teams have had their ups and downs through the first 2 months of the season, making things difficult to get an accurate read on them. Smiley has dropped his last 2 starts but has pitched well over the course of the year, providing a stable middle-of-the-rotation arm for the Cubs. Meanwhile, Detmers has been struggling all year, finding himself without a win on the books at this point of the year, with an ERA north of 5. It's tough to get excited about the Angels' chances with him on the mound, given what we've seen in recent outings. The Cubs' bullpen has struggled, as we saw again Tuesday night, but the bats should be able to get enough runs on the board against Detmers to give the visitors the win here. Los Angeles took advantage of their opportunities at the plate as they rallied to take the opening game of the set. The Angels entered Wednesday 32-30 on the season and stood 3rd in the AL West, 9 games behind the Rangers for the top spot in the division. On Tuesday, Los Angeles finished with just 5 hits, with no player having more than 1. Taylor Ward, his 7th, and Shohei Ohtani, his 16th, each went deep in the win. The Angels drew 6 walks, had 1 batter hit by a pitch and another reach on an error, giving them plenty of runners. Tyler Anderson, 3-1, earned the win despite allowing 4 runs on 5 hits with 3 walks and 5 strikeouts over 5 innings. Carlos Estevez worked the 9th, allowing no runs on 2 hits with no walks and 2 strikeouts for his 15th save. Our total pick is over.